Hello and welcome to Whispered Legends. I am your storyteller, and I'm thrilled to have you here. Get ready to journey into tales of mystery, adventure, and the unknown. If you love stories that spark your imagination, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a whisper. Now, let's begin today's tale. For centuries, Latin America has been home to a vast array of creatures born from myth and legend, stories that have been passed down through generations. One of the most terrifying and enigmatic of these legends is the Chupacabra, a bloodthirsty cryptid said to prey upon livestock in the dead of night. The Chupacabra, or goat sucker, as it's known, has left behind a trail of fear, confusion, and mystery that stretches far beyond the shores of Puerto Rico, where it first emerged. As the legend grew, so too did the chilling stories surrounding this creature. But is the Chupacabra a true terror that lurks in the shadows of rural Latin America, or is it merely a figment of collective fear and imagination? This story, one of dark mystery and cultural significance, takes us deep into the heart of Latin America, where the legend of the Chupacabra is alive and well. It was a warm summer night in 1995 when the sleepy town of Canavanas, nestled on the island of Puerto Rico, would forever be changed by a dark and eerie presence. The small farming community had always been known for its lush landscapes, where goats and chickens roamed freely, and the stars painted the night sky. But something was lurking in the shadows, something that would make the peaceful villagers question everything they thought they knew about their world. One morning, several farmers discovered that their sheep were dead. Their bodies had been drained of blood, their necks punctured by what appeared to be two small but deep bite marks. At first, the townsfolk thought it was just another wild animal, perhaps a large dog or a coyote. But there was something unusual about the scene. The bodies were eerily intact. There was no mess, no carnage, only the lifeless animals with puncture marks that suggested something far more deliberate. Within days, more reports began to surface from other parts of Puerto Rico. In neighboring towns, goats and chickens were found dead in the same fashion. The peculiar nature of the deaths soon began to raise alarms, and a terrifying realization began to take hold. The creatures responsible were not like anything the villagers had ever seen before. And so, the Chupacabra was born. The first accounts of the creature were unsettling. Witnesses described a figure, unlike any known animal, lurking in the night. Maria Alvarez, a local woman, claimed to have seen the creature herself. She recalled a night when she stepped outside to check on her chickens, only to be met with a pair of glowing red eyes in the distance. As the creature stepped into the light, she described it as having a hunched back, spiny features, and claws that gleamed in the moonlight. It moved with unnatural speed, darting into the shadows before she could react. Maria's encounter was not unique. Other villagers soon reported sightings of the creature, and the stories quickly spread, creating a sense of panic and dread. The creature, which would later be dubbed the Chupacabra, was unlike any animal known to man. As the Chupacabra legend took hold in Puerto Rico, stories began to spread across Latin America. From Mexico to the Dominican Republic, from Guatemala to Venezuela, rural communities started experiencing similar events. Goats, chickens, and even cows were found dead, their bodies drained of blood and eerily untouched. The attacks were happening with alarming frequency, and no one could explain why or how these creatures were killing without leaving a trace. In the town of Veracruz, Mexico, a farmer named Pedro Morales had his own chilling encounter. One night, he heard the terrified bleating of his goats. Rushing outside with a lantern, he saw a shadow moving swiftly across his field. It was a figure, small, hunched, and strange, its eyes glowing like red embers. The creature was perched upon one of his goats, feeding, as if unaware of Pedro's presence. When Pedro shouted at it, the creature suddenly turned its head, revealing rows of sharp, jagged teeth and a snarling mouth. It was a moment of pure terror that Pedro would never forget. In the morning, Pedro found his goat dead, its body completely drained of blood. The same story was repeated across the region, dead animals, drained of life, with no sign of a predator having consumed the flesh. It wasn't just the loss of livestock that frightened the people, it was the sense that something unearthly, something supernatural, was responsible for these attacks. By the time the report spread to Texas and beyond, the Chupacabra had become a widespread phenomenon. Despite the lack of physical evidence or clear sightings, the stories persisted, fueled by fear and speculation. Farmers and ranchers began staying up all night with weapons at the ready, afraid that the creature might strike again. As the Chupacabra continued to terrorize rural communities, descriptions of the creature became more detailed, though they varied from place to place. In Puerto Rico, eyewitnesses commonly described it as a reptilian creature, about 4 feet tall, with scaly, gray-green skin and sharp, clawed feet. Its spiny back, glowing red eyes, and sharp fangs made it seem almost otherworldly. It was said to move with an unnatural speed, darting from one victim to the next in a matter of seconds. In contrast, reports from Mexico and southern Texas painted a different picture. The Chupacabra was described more like a wild dog or coyote, hairless, with skin that appeared to be peeling away, revealing its raw, blood-red flesh beneath. Its eyes glowed like embers, and it gave off a foul, putrid odor that filled the air. Some witnesses claimed it resembled a mangy animal, but the way it hunted, the way it drained its prey of blood without leaving behind any flesh, led many to believe it was something far more sinister. Despite the differing descriptions, one thing remained clear: the Chupacabra was a predator of precision. It did not simply kill, it drained its victims of blood, leaving behind only lifeless, desiccated bodies. It was as if the creature knew exactly where to strike, never leaving behind a mess, never giving its prey a chance to fight back. The mysterious nature of the Chupacabra has led to numerous theories about its origin and purpose. Skeptics have proposed several explanations for the sightings and attacks, most of which attempt to explain the creature's appearance and behavior in more rational terms. One of the most common theories is that the Chupacabra is simply a misidentified animal. Many experts believe that the attacks attributed to the Chupacabra are, in fact, the work of coyotes, dogs, or other predators suffering from mange. Mange causes hair loss and distorts the appearance of the animal, making it look gaunt and alien-like. These animals, weakened by the disease, might resort to feeding on livestock, explaining the blood-draining nature of the attacks. Others believe the Chupacabra is a genetically altered creature, perhaps the result of a secret government experiment gone wrong. This theory suggests that the creature's spiny back and predatory behavior are the result of genetic manipulation, leading to a creature unlike any natural animal. A more supernatural theory posits that the Chupacabra is a creature from another world. Its strange appearance and the glowing eyes described by witnesses have led some to believe it may be an extraterrestrial being. The idea of an alien predator feeding on the blood of livestock has captivated the imaginations of many, further fueling the creature's mystique. Finally, there are those who argue that the Chupacabra is simply a product of mass hysteria. According to this theory, the creature exists only in the minds of those who believe in it. Once the legend began to spread, every unexplained animal death was attributed to the Chupacabra, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. Despite the various theories, the stories of Chupacabra encounters continue to haunt those who have experienced them firsthand. Some of the most chilling accounts come from people who claim to have witnessed the creature up close. In 2007, a rancher in Texas claimed to have killed a Chupacabra that had been preying on his livestock. The creature, which he shot and killed, was hairless, with sharp teeth and claws. He believed it was the same beast that had been terrorizing the area. DNA testing revealed that the creature was a coyote suffering from mange, but the rancher remained convinced he had killed the Chupacabra. Other stories come from the jungles of Guatemala, where villagers report hearing the creature's eerie screeches in the dead of night. Some claim to have seen the Chupacabra lurking in the trees, its red eyes gleaming in the darkness. In one particularly unsettling account, a family reported seeing a creature with glowing eyes lurking outside their home, watching them from the shadows. The family dog barked at the creature, but it disappeared before anyone could react. The next morning, their chickens were found dead, with the same blood-draining marks on their necks. These encounters, whether real or imagined, continue to fuel the legend of the Chupacabra. It is a creature that refuses to be forgotten, a symbol of fear and mystery that endures despite the passage of time. As the years have passed, the Chupacabra has become a fixture of popular culture. It has been featured in countless books, movies, and television shows, often portrayed as a terrifying, bloodthirsty monster. But for those who live in the rural regions where the creature is said to roam, the Chupacabra is much more than a story. It is a reminder of the mysteries that still lurk in the shadows of the world. Whether you believe in the Chupacabra or not, its legacy is undeniable. It represents the fears of the unknown, the terror of something unseen yet always present. The legend has endured for decades, and as long as the darkness persists, so too will the fear of the Chupacabra.